Hi, would you like to check out a 10-year-old urban permaculture garden? Come check it out. So this is a peanut butter fruit. These are all the seedlings. Peanut butter fruit are delicious. There's one over here. When they ripen up, they go nice and red, and they're soft, delicious. Through here, so many plants happening here. So we've got pigeon pea. This is a legume, nitrogen fixing, has a bean that can be used as lentils. This is like self-seeded in the garden. So I planted this here at the very beginning of this journey, and yeah, I never had to plant it again. It's basically self-seeding. So if it gets in the way, it can just be chopped and dropped and used as mulch. This is Queensland arrowroot with an edible tuber. Further through the garden here we've got coffee. It's fruiting at the moment, and when the berries turn red, they're quite tasty. And then obviously later on we can then roast them and get coffee from it. So we're in the understory here of these overstory trees. So as you can see, it's growing quite well in the dense shade. Further through here we've got more plants. This is miracle fruit. This little berry turns sour things sweet. It's quite miraculous. We've got a grapevine here as well. This one's Chama, which is like a nice tropical cherry. So we've got a nice archway to the entrance of this garden. This helps create a nice space as we're walking into our garden. And over this archway here we've got jasmine, nice flowering perennial vine. And in the understory here we've got little herbs. So we've got a Mexican tarragon, bit of cassava coming up through here, bunches of different herbs. This one here is a cocoa yam. So we've got the edible tubers here. So this is the part that we eat from the cocoa yam. It's much like potato. This one keeps popping up as well, which is Egyptian spinach. It can be used as a spinach in soups. It's quite nice. As you can see, the cocoa yam can get quite big, but it's a beautiful feature plant as well. To the south up here, you also have is that grapevine. So we're in Townsville, and this is the dry tropics, and yeah, we can grow grapes. So we've got a rigid panel fencing here, which is great support for vines. This vine's quite heavy, so it's really good to have a strong fence to grow your vines on. Yeah, so a good strong fence will provide a nice green wall or hedge, edible hedge. Following through here, this tree here is a choti, which has also the lipstick tree, and has a berry in it, which is used for food colouring. We also have a mulberry. So you can see the miracle fruit here is growing in this dense shade. It's pretty much getting no light at all, but it's growing super healthy and tall as well. So yeah, this is about 7 or 8 years old, this miracle tree. So as the entry to our garden, to this garden here, it's really necessary to make it beautiful. So it's not just about edibility and function, we need beauty to be a function as well. So we've included flowers into this garden to just to bring more colour and life to it. But in garden beds here we've got lots of perennials. So perennial is a plant that never dies. So cassava is one of them, and at any stage we can harvest the roots from it and eat the starchy potato. Cocoyam, more arrowroot, and we've got some fruit trees in the understory here. So here we have a cha-cha coming up, it's growing quite healthy there. Mulberry in the overstory, Malabar chestnut. So in this space here we have 3 native sausagiums or lily pillies, and they're growing up and they're providing a screen to the neighbours. So it just buffers that site, and also reflective light from their roof. So when we're up on the veranda, it makes a nice green wall, so we're filtering that light that comes through. So in this space here, this pepper leaf is growing quite well in the dense shade as well. Extensive gardens wrap around the property, so we've got minimal mowing. Dragon fruit runs up here as well, and the aerial yam is growing up in that as well, in that space. There's another plant over there which is Chapotacaba. That's a tree grape. This is the Chapotacaba. It's now fruiting. It takes 8 years to fruit, so now we're got the first crop last year. Aerial yam's growing up the rail here. Quite a beautiful thing, and it's just starting to form its little potatoes. They're only quite young, but this is where the little potatoes will grow. At the base of these plants here we've got another spinach. This is leaf ginseng, and it's quite a nice edible spinach. You can get it raw, cooked, or in salads. Quite nice. It's self-seed, so this was planted once and it continues to grow all the time. Another good perennial. Another good perennial is the sweet leaf. The sweet leaf has really nice tips. So the tips here are like tropical asparagus. Really tasty, quite sweet, and the kids love it. We've got some papayas, self-seeding and growing here. Turmeric is still happening, so we've harvested turmeric here over the years, so it's still resurfacing. It was one thing kind of just plant once and it'll continue to grow each year. Moringa, quite a medicinal and useful plant, quite good for our health. This is moringa, also known as drumstick tree. Has edible leaf, and the pods can be used when they're young. It's full of vitamins and minerals, and a little bit a day is enough to keep anyone healthy. Yeah, has a myriad of uses. It's worth looking into. Moringa. Got a kaffir lime here, another mulberry, and the cob oven. So yeah, just a wood-fired oven. Get the fire going about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Start off in here, push the fire back, keep it going, make sure it's nice bed of coals, push it to the side, and by about 5 o'clock, about 3 hours later, pizzas would be ready to go in. Here we have feijoa. This is 6 years old, and it's getting to a sizable size here. It's getting it's quite sparse, but hasn't fruited yet. As I said, we're in Townsville, dry tropics, quite hot, but it's in the understory, so hopefully in a couple of years with some compost it'll be fruiting in no time. This is santol. It's also the lolly fruit. It has a big yellow fruit, and you break the crust open, and there's like a lolly, like a soury lolly. It's quite delicious. Yeah, about 7 or 8 years old, and hasn't fruited yet. We're getting there. This is the jackfruit, and also this particular variety is the what I was told is the fairy floss variety. So yeah, it's like a crispy and very sweet. So yeah, nice round cannonball. And over here, bamboo. This one's a Bambusa polymorpha, so it's the solid culm. So there's no hole, no air hole, air space. So good for tools. So this is the banana patch, which once started as a banana circle, and this is one of the first things I put in about 10 years ago. And banana's really important. It builds fertility, so it's a column full of water and has lots of organic matter, and the more and more we chop and drop this, it builds fertility. The worms love it, and it produces in 1 year. Here we have, so this is a Ducasse variety, and here's a bunch. So this is its bell still on it, and this is a bit overdue, but it's good to cut the bell off just after the last fruit has formed. You can eat this as a vegetable, peel off all the sheaths, and yeah, as a vegetable we can eat. So this is the banana circle. In the center is a compost pile, and this one started further over there, and the circle was much bigger, but over the years I've sort of shifted it and made it much tighter, which ends up forming like 1.5 meters diameter in the center, which is a good size for a compost pile. And all the straight bananas around the outside help raise that compost pile up. Come in the center, I'll show you. In the center here is a compost pile. So we just continually add all the organic matter to the center of this, and over time it builds up, but it comes to a certain point where it starts to go down, and this pile really just is continually here, and it's always going down and going up and feeding the bananas. The more we put into it, the more bananas we get. It's like a cyclic pattern. Quite beautiful. I just found another bunch. I've got about 6 bunches growing in a 10 by 3 meter space. Yeah, there's probably 25 banana trees here. Lots of food. It's probably the peak of the growing season, so we're in the end of the summer, so the end of our wet season. Lots of bunches now, but we'll put lots in the dehydrator and keep it going all through the year. But the bananas will continue the fruit all through the year in the tropics. So outdoor shower, surrounded by food, bananas are coming in, there's taro in here, curry leaf, galangal, cassava, leaf ginseng, yeah, it's abundance everywhere. And we have a ripe bunch to pick. So when it's time to come to pick the bananas, it's good to cut it just above where the leaf divides, and if we cut it here, then the tree will stop growing and it will die. And if I didn't do that, it would then fruit again, but the second bunch would be tiny and not worth it. So we just need to make sure that we take our bananas out, and it'll grow another sucker and produce another bigger bunch next season. So I'm just going to take it off right here. Okay, let's go check out the rest. A couple of walks through the bananas and we'll show you the pathways. So, if any food forest, it's really good to maintain your pathway so we can get to where we need to go. And it really defines the space, and it's necessary that we have good boom boxes on our bikes, because it's always a party around here. Hey! So, in the food forest, making sure we're keeping our pathways open, and mulch is always necessary to make sure that we don't get too many things growing in the pathways, but making sure they're always 800 millimeters wide. This is the back side of the house, so this is the southern side, so it doesn't get much light here. But what we have here is ice cream bean, Inga edulis, and this is an overstory nurse tree that drops lots of leaves and produces a large amount of mulch. So I regularly come in here and I'll collect all this leaf matter and I'll use it to mulch my gardens through the rest of the site. It produces so many leaves and it mounds up, and it's really quite a good resource for it. It's here also nursing a bone mango. In here we had our chicken coop. At the moment there's no chickens here, but yeah, they would always scratch through here, and then we incorporate composting with the chickens. So we had a few compost bays here, and we'd mound it up and the chickens would scratch it, and we continue to add to the compost bay and the chickens would turn it for us, and there was always lots of dark humus here to get for our vegetables around the site. Rainwater tank, yeah. Here we have the mango underneath the ice cream bean. So this mango is slowly growing through here, and it's looking quite healthy. I never watered this at all, and it's always got lots of good mulch and growing quite well. Show you on the pod. So this is the ice cream bean. So this here, we're a bit late in the season now, so all the fruit's gone, but yeah, it's full of beautiful white fluffy ice cream flavoured fruits. I'm standing between about 3 or 4 elements here. So we've got our ice cream bean nursery, which goes over to the outdoor shower and the bananas. And we've got the banana circle, outdoor shower, paths coming through, and so we don't need to water this space now. All we need to do is come in and have a shower and use the washing machine, and the garden's watered, and it's all producing together. All the organic matter goes from the ice cream bean and mulches all the gardens, and it's all connected. some people might find this sort of gardening a bit messy, but what it is like it's nature. It's dealing with our waste and turning it into a resource. This section here, where a bit of opening here of the bananas, this could here be another compost pile, just like the one I demonstrated before. And this here could be another big compost pile. There's always so much organic matter to deal with so many plants, but we can work with it. So the one that I just cut down before, got that bunch of bananas off. This here will now die, and the succession is coming through. So we have the grandmother, mother, and child here, and we just got to make sure when managing bananas that we don't have too many in one space. So you just want to have it like about 3 generations going at once, and try and not allow overcrowding. So one thing we always talk about is chopping and dropping. So always chopping and dropping all the time, making a nice small size. It's more manageable and doesn't look so messy. Probably too many here. There's 2 plants of the same size, and unfortunately one really does need to go. Not this time. I use coconut for mulch. So the husk, there's lots of fibres in it and lots of surface area, and it absorbs water and nutrient like a sponge. And I have these around my garden, and I can actually get a big load full sometimes, or when I'm using them constantly, they build up. So I use them in my garden beds, and I face them down, and all the worms and critters just live in there like a little condo. It's like my little fertility condo. Hey, this is the chicken house. So we've got a little back door that opens up into the underneath of the house. And come get our chicken eggs. How awesome. It's been so good to share this with you all, because this has been 10 years of a journey for me, and put so much into this, and it's grown so much, and I'm feeling so grateful to be able to hand this over to someone, and it's a legacy that I'm leaving behind of an urban oasis. And I'm only on 605 meters here, and this is what we can do in small spaces. I mean, we're an urban, middle of Townsville, suburbs, and it's so beautiful what can happen in 10 years. So we don't need to wait. The best time to plant a tree is 5 years ago, and it can really pay off in a short amount of time. And before you know it, you've got it. And I can help you do this. So happy growing.